What's going on, everybody? I am in a DIY van with my man Joel right here. It was really nice because guess what? I'm at a festival right now. However, we are out in the parking lot and this man right here is just an attendee of said festival. And I decided to come out and take a look at his van because a friend of mine vouched for him. And luckily, I liked it so much that I'm gonna share it with you guys. More so, I like this guy. He's a really cool guy. And I just wanted to share him and his story, and that's what we do here on my channel. So here we go. We're gonna check out Joel, and that sounded weird.
That's okay.
Okay, cool.
Just roll with it.
Okay. And we're going to check out his van as well, and what he did. Full DIY?
Yeah.
Awesome. And we're gonna get all the information right now. Here we go.
It's going.
How are you, man?
Good.
Awesome. Thank you for coming to the festival this weekend. And I got to meet you. Who are you a friend of? Well, I don't even think my channel really knows who this is, but why don't you tell us who you're a friend of through me?
Nick Nelson of Exploration Van Works. I've known him for more than a decade. You know, we're buddies back from the East Coast.
So you know Nick, geez, from way back when.
Yeah.
Awesome. Were you guys climbing buddies?
No, so his ex-wife is actually a friend of mine back from high school. Everybody's still friends, everything is good, everyone's happy, but you know, Bree, who was Nick's partner, up until a while ago.
Back in the day?
Back in the day. I've known Bree since freshman year of high school.
Wow.
And I met Nick freshman year of college, 10 years ago now.
Wow.
So it's been fun. We've done some mountain biking together and just kind of generally stayed in touch. And this van came out of discussions from him, and actually the shell of the van came from him as well.
Was this his build?
This was his empty van that he was gonna do a build in until he and Bree came over for Christmas, you know, right before Christmas, and I was telling him I wanted to do a build, and he goes, well, okay. And he had a, you know, 2015 high roof, 4-cylinder turbo diesel that had zero work done on it. It was just his work van for 6 months or a year. And I was like, I'm buying that from you.
Okay. So you bought his van.
I bought his van.
And then you built it out.
And then I built it out.
Gotcha.
There was a lot of guidance from Nick. You know, it was a DIY with my dad, but the guidance and the expertise of, you know, kind of pointing me in the right direction, making sure I have, you know, really the electrics was a piece that was Nick's forte that I was really unsure of. Now that I've done it once, I'm happy to go off into La La Land doing other crazy stuff like a 24-volt system in the next van and things like that.
Yeah, you've been talking to me a lot about that today.
A lot of it was really just education. I've been talking to a lot of people here today, trying to show them the things that I learned and learned from Nick. Because if you have someone to guide you along in the process, you're going to have a much better end product. Really, really grateful to have Nick as someone to bounce ideas off of, and you know, spent a lot of hours on the phone with him. Wouldn't have been possible to do it as I did it without Nick's help, but you know, it was one of those things that I did the craftsmanship and all the work with my dad.
Cool.
We did all the cabinetry together. So.
And word on the street is, I'm going to blow up Nick's spot right now, but he is, we're in sunny Southern California right now in San Diego. Word is that Nick is possibly moving out here from Drury, New Hampshire. You are going to be working with him.
Yeah.
Can I blow this up? Can I say this?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, he can always say no on the video post later, but...
okay.
So the idea is that, you know, he's going to keep doing Exploration Van Works. I have my own business, not anything to do with vans. Anything I can do to help him along with his business and his builds, I'm in to do.
Awesome.
And we work well together, so there's a lot of things that he and I have done together, and, you know, that just kind of mesh well.
You already said it was a 2015 Sprinter, but let's talk about it. Also word on the street, I'm going to pan the camera around, which is a for sale. Look at that. It's a for sale. You put it out there on the van. So talk to me about this. You have this up for sale now because you already talked about how you wanted to do a second van. But yeah, what's your intent here? Why are you selling?
So I'm selling because there are a lot of places that I want to go that really warrant a 4x4. I've done Van Compass Stage 4 kit with Bilstein V6s up front. As far as a two-wheel drive vehicle goes, this is about as capable as it's going to get. I have not yet been limited by where I've gone. I haven't gotten stuck. But if there have been a lot of places where I've chosen not to go on that truly backcountry, up over hill and dale path through backcountry Utah and in Idaho and in Montana, and I really want to go to Alaska. So I'd like to be able to have a vehicle where, you know, my opinion is the best rescue is no rescue at all or self-rescue. You just want to set yourself up for success. So I'm going to build a 4x4 and turn it into a monster.
Amazing adventure, man. I get it. All right, so walk me through the build a little bit. How many miles are on the 2015?
80,000.
80,000. That's a low for a 2015. Honestly, it's a 6-year-old van at this point.
Yeah.
Holy Christmas. You kept a very kind of a neutral tone throughout with the exception of the backsplash, but I really digging it, man. Galley you got going on. You like the galley.
Galley.
Yeah, the galley. Little Christopher Walken there for everybody. The galley you got going on, and you got some drawers, and you got a fridge here. What's going on? Like, give me the breakdown.
So the breakdown was a lot of my inspiration comes from the guys at Vancraft. My first van experience was borrowing a friend's Vancraft build. Elements, the grain matched, CNC routed, doors and drawers and things like that. I kind of saw that from their style and really wanted to kind of make it my own. What I was looking for was something that was a mobile office as well as an adventure vehicle. So I built it around a combination of what is here, which is a standing desk, and we can get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, please. Yeah, we'll get to that.
As well as kind of an open concept galley, so that I didn't have to worry about having anything really fixed.
So cooking apparatus?
Cooking apparatus is anything you want to set on the counter. I've got enough power to run an induction cooktop.
Okay.
But I've used a jet boil and a few other just little, the MSR type stoves.
I see the magic bullet over there. I see a kettle.
Plenty of power, but I didn't want to have to mess with something always being in the way. Plenty of drawer space, there's plenty of storage, so if you can just set it up, cook your meal, put it away. So that was sort of my concept, because I like having open spaces, both in my house and and in my van, places that you can work, do anything, make a sandwich, or set your laptop, or kind of just figure something out, work on drawing.
Fridge, what is it? Everybody can read isotherm, but what size and what model?
85 Elegance. So it's the Cruise 85 Elegance. I mean, I don't know all the different versions of it, but I wanted something that had the little mini freezer, but as it's an adventure kind of extended weekender for me, I wasn't worried about keeping weeks and weeks worth of food.
I love how you lifted it off the ground. Obviously you don't want to bend way over to get into the fridge.
Yep, and
really cool design. I'm
6'1". I'm standing here in flip-flops. I've got plenty of headspace over here. I don't like stuff being on the ground.
Okay.
So I did 37.5-inch countertops.
Wow, that is kind of high.
It's a little bit higher than standard, but it is within the standards of what you would do in a normal home.
Okay.
So a traditional low would be a 36 and a high would be a 38, so I kind of split the difference.
It feels like almost like an island, like a cooking island.
It's exactly what I was basing it off of.
Right, okay.
And the cabinetry design and able to execute it comes from being able to build cabinetry with my dad. We did a complete, we gutted the family house and did all of our kitchen cabinets. We used face frames that used to be the old birch floor.
Cool.
So we got our woodworking experience there, and that was the trial by fire. And although this is my first van, this is not my first cabinet by any stretch of the imagination.
Big old countertop. I love how you went with an untraditional. I haven't seen too many bamboo countertops, and it looks really good. Is it like a vertical grain? Is that what it is?
So this is actually a piece that you can buy from Lowe's.
Okay,
so
great.
This was...
it's a special order, I believe.
It is a special order, but it's a 2-week delivery. It's like 10% more than doing the maple, and it was just unique. Pros, it's gorgeous. I love how it looks.
Yep.
Cons, it's bamboo and it dings a little bit. So if you're the kind of person that you want to be able to cut with a knife on your countertop, might not go for the bamboo because it will mark. So I have little plastic sheets that I put on top that are my actual cutting boards. But other than it being something that can ding a little bit, it's just a nice bright workspace that easy to clean.
I was gonna say, I love seeing the exposed the edge of the bamboo is what I'm trying to say, I guess, right? It just looks so gorgeous. So this galley you have over here, obviously it's a sink. Phenomenal. What do you got for tank-wise? Freshwater, gray water?
So I have a 30 or 32 gallon freshwater tank.
Okay.
And I have I think it's the 5.8 gallon, or maybe it's the 6 gallon gray water tank.
Awesome.
So the gray water I want to be able to take out and dump out. I use biodegradable soap, so I don't, I can dump it pretty much anywhere. But I wanted something where I didn't have to go to a dump station to deal with gray water. So having flexibility with the gray water is really important to me.
Is that where your tanks are stored? Is that how that works?
So the tanks are underneath, and I can kind of show you that when we get to the back section of the van.
Sure.
But I had access to on both sides here.
Yep.
So this is the gray water. One of the things that I highly recommend for people building vans is when you do your vapor trap, P trap, S trap, depending on the style, they take up a lot of space underneath your cabinet. The whole purpose of that is to have a vapor barrier between your gray water and your van. Do that with a simple loop, because as soon as you put any water in it, it creates that vapor barrier for you. So it's simple, it's easy, it's replaceable when it gets disgusting, and it's something that I got 20 feet of it for less than $40, and there's 18 inches in here to deal with. So
Sure.
don't worry about doing 2-inch drain lines. Don't worry about spending too much time taking up a lot of space vertically in what's otherwise a relatively small cabinet space. Put your gray water in something you can carry.
Since we're down here, floors. This is really interesting. I like them. I think I know what they are. But tell me about them. I'm really, I've seen them before. And do you remember the company? Do you remember where you got it from?
I think it's the Ameritique.
Yeah.
And it is their marine grade vinyl
Yep.
that you would put in a boat. It was done as a single sheet on top of a spliced together 3/4 ply. That was biscuited and joined together and then dropped in as a single piece.
I've seen people use these on their ceilings sometimes, or their floors are obviously amazing. If they're made for boats, they're made for vans.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Everything should be marine grade, and the reason for it is things move around, and you want everything to be secure and sturdy. You know, frankly, it's not your house, and it shouldn't be wired as such, shouldn't be plumbed as such. You treat it like a boat, because it is a boat. It's your land yacht.
I kind of want to get to this back here, because this is really not odd, but it's different. I like different.
Okay.
You have just kind of run me through this.
So what I've got here is a modular bed system and desk. So when I travel with my girlfriend, it is a bed that is the length of a queen, so it's 80 inches long plus the window depth, and it is a full width. So it is called a full extra long. So I bought a full extra long mattress, and I modified the bed sections so that it was able to be taken apart. And I'll kind of show you how I take care of that.
Yeah,
so
you can just take out that one panel, would be great.
One panel here, so.
Now, by the way, he did not have his mattress on that other panel because we're doing this right now, everybody.
Yes. This is the other mattress panel.
Perfect.
And when you put the sheet on, there's no gaps, no anything. I've tried to sleep in the crack, and you can't find the gap. It's because everything's nice and tight. So I've got 2 panels here, and they fit directly behind the driver. So these panels fit here, and the other one, which is slightly longer, it's staggered, goes in the same spot.
Which is really nice, because why'd you do it that way?
So when you come around here, this is the standing desk height that I use in my modular standing desk at home. And although it's not mounted currently, I have a monitor that goes here that is the exact same height that I would need for my 13-inch MacBook Pro, and then clearance of a 32-inch 4K monitor to be able to stand here and work comfortably, or sit back, or lean. And what I wanted is a van that I could do a full walkthrough on. So when I pull this section out, and we're kind of weekend adventuring where we're not planning on sleeping in the van, but we just want to have all of our stuff with us. We paraglide together, we surf together, so we carry a lot of stuff with us, and a lot of times it's not always the same thing. So this center pass-through section allows us to put longboards in here. We've got room underneath for all the wetsuit boxes and racks and our paragliders and things like that. And I wanted kind of that ultimate flexibility, but also something that was really cozy when we decided to be in the van as a couple. When the bed is in place, you don't have access to the electric panel, but it's a full Victron setup, so everything is visible from my phone on Bluetooth. Other than physically turning on the inverter, which I typically do at the start of a trip and then don't shut it off till I get home and let the van sit for a couple weeks, I don't need to touch anything inside this cabinet. Set, ready to go. I put the monitor on the wall, work, and drop in the last piece of bed here. It takes 2 to 5 minutes to set up the bed.
Did you say how much battery power you have?
So I currently have 160 amp hours of Victron lithium with an option for a second one. So it's built for a second one to go right next to it. What I found is that for the weekend adventuring that I do, if I'm parked in a relatively sunny spot at any point during the day, I have plenty of power. I would recommend expanding the battery if you wanted to go with a hot water system. It's prepped for someone to install a hot water system, but it is currently a cold water system only.
I noticed in the back here you have some Havelock wool.
Yep.
Which is great. So obviously your entire van is insulated with Havelock.
Yep. Havelock wool. I've got 5 bats. Typically,
holy Christmas, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is you've got a lot of these pillars.
Yep.
And it's impossible to get to.
So you stuffed them all.
I stuffed all the pillars. I stuffed absolutely everything, but I didn't compress any of the wool.
Well, you're not supposed to.
Right. So the idea is when you do a typical 2.5 bat system in the van, you're only just covering the big section. So I took another 2.5 bats and filled in all those gaps. I don't have a heater in here. That's one of the things that there's a lot of things that are prepped for turning it into something that's 24/7 for someone.
Yeah, you could do it easily.
We camped in Bryce in a snowstorm.
Now there it is.
It was single digits. it's one of those things that, like, for a night or two, it's not a big deal.
Well, you had a second human with you.
Yeah, this wouldn't be the van I'd recommend if your #1 hobby is living at ski resorts. But I live in Southern California. I prepped it for general summer West Coast travel, but, like, you know.
I mean, let's face it. A lot of us get into van life to chase weather.
Yes.
I see you've got one fan in the back. You got a lot of lights in here.
I do.
I freaking love that. I mean, I like to just see. Is what it comes down to.
I have them on 2 separate dimmers, front and back.
Oh, beautiful.
So, you know, these are the LED ones.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I've got double row underneath, and then I've got more lighting under here that's accessible.
That's a lot of storage. And now, can I get to that storage from the back?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's go to the back and check this out. Beautiful C.R. Lawrence window, it looks like. And I didn't notice this before. That's a gauge for water?
Yep, that is my level sensor. I have it actually set where when I turn off the pump, the gauge goes off, so it only is displaying when I've got the pump turned on. So it's one of those things that when you go to check it, turn the pump on, take a look.
Yeah, let's go to the back. You've got a, is this a Sherpa rack?
It's a Sherpa rack with 2 1-ups on it.
So it's the Owl rig system.
It is the Owl vans.
Yeah, okay.
Owl vans are great. I don't know if you plug stuff, but, like, I'll tell you what, for myself, these guys are awesome.
I've actually never talked to Owl ever on the phone, and yet I obviously tour a bunch of vans that have owls. I mean, they've got to be doing something right.
They're just phenomenally built.
Is this also the tire? Yeah, it is.
So this is an Owl
This is
van
the tire
rack
carrier
as well.
from them as well. Yeah,
because I have such a large solar panel on the roof, I decided not to go with the
ladder?
The ladder version.
Yeah, why not?
So this is the back of the van.
Love it. It looks like you have a shower system of some sort.
So, a couple things I can show you. In here is actually a system that is a completely empty space right now.
Yes,
that is sized for an electric hot water system.
Okay.
As well as the surge tank for hot water if you choose to do that.
Okay.
But in the configuration that I'm using it is the place where you can stuff all your pillows and blankets and things like that, and it is accessible when you're in bed mode. Shower system.
You don't stick it all the way out, but you know.
Pretty basic here. These, I think it's CPC.
Yep.
These quick connects with the right ones are a lifesaver.
Okay.
They're absolutely fantastic and super quick. Little shower out the back. Like
Oh yeah, there it is.
Just cold water. Something that's really nice as well as
The
a little
magnets?
for everybody is these are rare earth magnet little plugs from Amazon, but they're heavy duty enough to hold a wetsuit when it's soaked.
So you just literally hang your wetsuit. You wash yourself off in the salt water, hang the wetsuit, and let it dry.
Hang the wetsuit, let it dry. I got 2 more in there so that I can let it drip into the tray.
You're
that
such
is
a
the
San
step.
Diegan, yes.
So it can drain out.
There you go.
So the step is the only thing that drains from the inside of the van at all, from a water egress perspective.
And then on this side.
And on this side, I've got a lot of light.
Yes, you do.
can tell.
It's almost, look at, that's a lot of LED light.
It's a 500-pound slider system, and I end up loading either 2 or 3 in a row of the Home Depot bins.
Yeah.
And then I put the paragliders on top, and then I slide the whole thing in.
You and your paragliding, man.
Rocking and rolling.
Again, can access all of this from inside the rig with the door shut.
From inside the rig with the door shut. And when it's in, I'm going to call it, kind of weekender mode where you're not sleeping in it and that bed section is up, everything is really easily accessible.
And you even have this, looks like just like a netting for just to hold stuff.
Yeah, it's a great spot to put your towel when you're going to go shower.
Nice. Hey, man, this is a fantastic rig, all DIY'd out. What's the best way to contact you? We never even said how to contact you.
Instagram or cell phone number.
I'm not gonna blast somebody's cell phone number on YouTube. However, why don't you give an Instagram? Is that cool?
Yeah, it's iSurfNE as in New England.
That's it?
Yep.
iSurfNE.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And, same as the email address is isurfne@gmail.com.
Apparently you're a surfer.
I try.
Which one do you prefer more? Paragliding or surfing? I didn't realize I just asked you a complex math question.
Yes, do both.
I love it. That was a good answer.
Surf in the morning, paraglide when it gets windy.
Wow, I love it. Okay. Have you done, what's the one with the wave and the big sail and the surfing with is it?
Kite surfing?
The kite surfing's another one, I guess.
Or windsurfing.
Windsurfing, thank you.
So
have you done
any
it?
windsurfing.
Have you? Okay. All right, because I would assume you can handle wind. You know what it's like. Okay, interesting.
The other sky sport is skydiving.
Well, dude, thank you so much for sharing your rig, and guys, contact him, iSurfNE on Instagram if you are interested in the van, obviously, or if you just want to say hi to Joel, because he's got that nice boyish smile to him. All right, dude, and hey, congrats, or hopeful working with Nick in the very near future. I can't wait to see you both out here in San Diego.
Appreciate it.